welcome on board CA Rudramurthy as well and figure out what he's doing in this market. Rudra, any mid-cap ideas firstly?
See, for me, yes, broader market is definitely doing well for last 2 days. And especially if you see power and energy themes, there are a lot of opportunities there. So for me, yes, JSW Energy looks very, very strong. So at current market price, I will be a buyer in JSW Energy, looking at target of 560, and one can have a stop loss of around 510 for this long call.
Right. Kunal, what about your mid-cap strategies?
So I'll go with the buy on Policy Bazaar or BB Fintech. After quite some time, in fact, after almost like a 2.5 odd months, the stock has come back towards a swing breakout. Good volumes to seen yesterday for the stock, almost like a 1.5 to 2 month high volume-wise also. So it looks attractive over the short term. Would look out for 1620 as a target. Stop loss at 1508.
Right. Okay. Let's tell you what else has been happening in the world. While I'm just looking at the pre-open rates to settle down, and then we'll take stock of what HDFC Bank ahead of its numbers. Nifty, of course, is flat. What is Wipro doing? That's going to be the big drag today. Let's wait by for the reaction on that one. But just hours after the ceasefire between Lebanon and Israel, sirens were heard once again in Lebanon and North Israel. Remember, Trump urged Iran-backed Hezbollah to abide by the ceasefire. Also, shares of TSML and ASML Holding fell despite strong earnings, highlighting pressure from lofty investor expectations. TSMC posted a 58% profit and continued a strong AI-driven demand, while ASML also beat estimates and raised its guidance.
Shares of Netflix fell 9% despite beating earnings expectations as investors reacted to leadership changes and deal-related costs. Netflix also announced that co-founder Reed Hastings will exit the board in June. It's day 2 of the special session with voting set to take place at 4 p.m. All eyes are on the numbers as the House gears up for a crucial decision on the bill. PM Modi has offered a blank check to the opposition on taking credit for the women's reservation bill. He urged all parties to pass the legislation without further delay, stressing the need for consensus. Okay, Rudra, let me come straight back to you. Give us a sense, private versus PSU banks. That's been the eternal debate at this point. What's looking stronger on charts at this point?
Harsh, for me, definitely between the two, PSU banks are much better, both in terms of valuation as well as chart pattern. And I will definitely go with the leader there, that is SBI. So if you see SBI, again, this has been a stock which has given fabulous results for last 2-3 quarters. And also after the correction, what SBI saw from those highs of around 1,230 to lows of around 980. So it is a mouth-watering buy even at current market price for me. So I will be a buyer in SBI here. So look at targets back to those all-time high levels or crossing that 1,230 mark. And I will keep a strict stop loss of around 1,030 and I will be a buyer at current market price. And just another overall view on market plus on Bank Nifty especially. Yes, last 2 days Bank Nifty has relatively underperformed the Nifty. That is all because IT has supported Nifty. And let me tell you, I don't want to buy IT unless I have a 3 to 5 year kind of a long-term horizon. But for me still, yes, after a 2,000 point kind of a move in Nifty, that is from 22,200, you have seen 24,400 on Nifty. That is a 2,000 point move. And even a 1/3 correction of this trend takes market to 23,700, 23,800. I'm not saying market will come there, but what I'm telling you is this is a very strong uptrend. I've been repeatedly telling structurally this market has changed from sell on rise to buy on dip market, and a lot of data is clearly evident on this, Harsh. Look at the broader market participation, relatively very, very strong. Both mid and small cap doing better than index. FIIs from 8,000 crore average selling per day, they have started buying this market. And let me tell you, Brent crude is below $100 per barrel. Rupee and dollar is also in check. And most important, advanced decline ratio, if you see, it has been very positive.
Right.
VIX has come down. All this is indicating to me, buy every dip in this market and you will get rewarded. No shorting whatsoever.
Buy every dip. That's the high conviction call coming in from Rudra. Is there a preference you have with regard to what within auto you like?
Definitely, yes. If you see relatively Ashok Leyland, Mahindra and Mahindra looks very, very strong to me. And even for that matter, Tata Motor also looks strong to me when it comes to the Tata Motor passenger vehicle. So all three counters looks very strong to me. But if I have to prioritize that, I will pick Ashok Leyland first, followed by M&M, and then with Tata Motor passenger vehicle.
Rudra, how will you look at some of the smaller private banks?
See, yes, when it comes to stocks like, for example, RBL Bank, or even for that matter, Indus India Bank, City Union Bank, Bandhan Bank, all looks good. But all these stocks are bouncing from their strong support zones. But still, it might take some time for these stocks to outperform. I will still stay with PSU banks as my first choice, followed by the larger private banks, and then go to the smaller tier banks, unless you have that kind of a risk appetite and markets are not like it is already at all-time highs and there is a lot of froth in market and we are just exuberantly seeing stocks outperforming the index. That is the time when I might go and pick these ones. But at right market environment at which we are, I will still prefer PSU banks as my first priority now, and then followed by larger private bank, and finally with the smaller tier private banks.
Okay, Kunal, let me come to you with